be upon you all. My name is Fareeha Javed. I'm an 11th grader at the Islamic School of Irving, and I'm from India. So yeah, not an Arab country. So the 5 obligatory acts are the 5 pillars of Islam. The first one is shahadatan, or the 2 oaths. The second one is salah, or prayers. The third one is zakat, or charity, obligatory charity. And then the fourth one is Sawm, which is fasting, and the fifth one is Hajj, which is pilgrimage to Mecca. So the first one and the most important one is Shahadatan, which is the 2 oaths, or to declare faith through the separable testimony. And it's basically saying La ilaha illallah, which is I witness that there is no God except Allah, and ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, which is, and I witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. And you have to say this to be Muslim. You cannot not say this and then just be Muslim. This is like the most important thing in the religion. And yeah, so Islam is really like, it gives us liberty because we're only worshiping one God. So it's basically like saying, I will worship none but Allah Almighty. I will fear none but Allah. I will please none but Allah. I will ask for nothing except from Allah. And then I will love none but Allah and the ones who He loves. And I will hate nothing except what Allah hates. So it gives us a lot of liberty for that. And then the second most important thing in Islam is salah, or prayers. There are 5 daily prayers: Fajr, which is before sunrise; Dhuhr, which is at noon; Asr, which is in between Dhuhr and Maghrib; Maghrib, which is like at sunset or like afterwards; and then Isha, which is at nighttime. And it really stresses that we pray our prayers on time, on the time that it's given, and we can pray on any pure spot anywhere. And we have to face the direction of the Kaaba, which is the first house built for God by Abraham, and it's in the direction of Mecca.
Right. Mecca is in Saudi Arabia, by the way. Yeah. Can we keep the questions till the end? Is that okay? Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
And so the most important thing is charity, which is obligatory for all Muslims. We have to pay like once a year either 2.5% of the savings that are held, 5 to 10% of any agricultural income, or 20% of any extracted resources and minerals. And so it's basically purification for us because this is the money that we haven't used at all or haven't touched. So it's kind of extra, and it's really good if we give it to charity. So it's obligatory for all of us.
Can I just comment on that? Many people they just get confused between this zakat and there is what is called sadaqah. It means charity. Now charity can anyone do it, whether he's poor or rich. But this is an obligation for the rich people. They have to pay a certain amount, like 2.5 of the saving held for a year that it has never been touched. So if you have $3,000, let's say, in your account, but you use it for your bills and things like that, that is not considered zakat. Okay? If you give, that's a charity. But I'm talking about zakat, like something that it has never been touched, it's like a saving for over a year, then they have to pay like a 2.5. It is an obligation, it is the right of the poor on the rich. No? Yeah, it's the poor on the rich. So yeah, they have to pay it.
Okay. And so the fourth one is fasting, or Sawm, during the month of Ramadan, which is a really holy month for all Muslims because that's when the Quran, our holy book, was revealed. And so we fast from dawn till dusk, and it's no eating, drinking, or sexual activities during this time. And it's basically a way to discipline ourselves because like Allah has asked us to stay away from these things, and it's bringing us back towards our faith. So this is a month where all Muslims are really holy. And so the last of the 5 pillars of Islam is Hajj, or pilgrimage in Mecca. And so this happens once in a lifetime. Like you only have to do this once, and it's only for the ones who are able. Like physically, if you're healthy and you can handle it, then you can go. And financially, like it's not a burden for Muslims. And it's the universality of religion, and it really changes the lives of people because like you go back to where it all started, Islam. And one of the people whose lives it changed was Malcolm X. Before he went on Hajj, he was with the Nation of Islam. And basically the Nation of Islam, they said that the black people were above white people, and they weren't with the mainstream Islam. They were like deviants from them because Islam says that everyone is equal, no matter their race, gender, everyone is equal. And the only thing that distinguishes people is if they're righteous, or more righteous than another. And so his quote.
Yeah, so what happened is Malcolm X, he went to the Middle East, to Algeria. And everyone kept telling him, you need to go back, you need to go to Hajj, you need to go to Hajj. and he was still in the nation of Islam. So he went back to, he went down to Hajj, and he was so amazed to see about actually now we have 7 million people that every year they go to one spot over there to do all the rituals. It's crazy. So he saw all these people from all backgrounds, from all races, from all colors, rich next to the poor. They all, you know, pray next to each other. They always give food, by the way. I mean, I went over there. You never get hungry. I'm serious. Like, people would give like food in the streets. It's crazy. So, you know, and you know, I went, and he changed, and he came back, and he joined the mainstream Islam. And he was assassinated because he called for the equal rights for the humanity. He called, and he's a legend over here in the United States. So he's known to be one of the best equalists at the time of Martin Luther King. And because of that, he was assassinated by one of the members of the Nations of Islam. So he said this famous quote.
During 11 days here in Muslim worlds, I have eaten from the same plate, drank from the same glass with fellow Muslims, whose eyes were the bluest of blue, whose hair was the blondest of blonde, and whose skin was the whitest of light. And in their deeds and in their worship, I felt the same sincerity of the black people. And so to recap, the 5 pillars of Islam, in which Islam is laid on, like these are the foundation of our Islam, is to shahadatan, or to declare the faith through testimony, salah, which is to establish the 5 prayers, zakat, which is to pay the financial obligation, Sawm, which is fasting during the month of Ramadan, and the last one is Hajj, which is pilgrimage to Mecca. And so now I'm going to pass it on to.
So that's all about Islam, N+6+5. We're done with all